Today will always be the day that you remember as the day that Captain Jack Sparrow hosted Thingamavlogs. Savvy? Just kidding, it's me, Leo. Look, see? Eyebrows. So this week is live action Disney movie week, and my favorite live action Disney movie of all time is Pirates of the Caribbean, better known as Johnny Depp and his pals. So the movie is obviously based on the ride that appears at Disneyland and Disney World, so I thought it'd be kind of cool to go through the movie and the ride and show you what things exist in both. Also, I think I'm gonna throw in some trivia too, because why not? And maybe in the middle I'll do random Jack Sparrow impressions. Hello? Whoa! Yeah, you always have to be a little bit dizzy and a little bit kind of confused. It's hard to be in this costume and not just be like, all the time, just walking around and just...
Do the whole video as Jack Sparrow.
I'll try. I can't, I don't know if I can maintain. I'll do my best. Okay, here we go. So obviously the most iconic part of the ride is the song itself. Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. And that song appeared 3 times in the first film. The first time is when Elizabeth is a little kid and she's singing it on the ship very creepily. Yo ho, yo ho. Just like that. The second time is when Jack and Elizabeth are marooned on the island and they get really drunk and they're just kind of dancing around singing that song. And the third time is at the very end of the movie when Jack is singing it. He says, really bad eggs, and then he says, bring me that horizon, which was a line he improvised. The second most iconic part of the ride is the part where the jailers are trying to get the attention of the dog. This is also in the movie, and in that part, Jack utters the line, you're never gonna get that dog to move, which is a reference to the animatronic dog, which has never moved since the opening of the ride. In the movie, there's a scene where the Black Pearl arrives at Port Royal and attacks the city. The pirates go crazy and they light things on fire. This is actually a reference to the burning sequence in the ride. Oh, also, there's a part in Tortuga where there's a pirate drinking rum on top of wobbly barrels. That's both in the ride and in the movie. There's a part where one of the barrels gets shot and is leaking rum, and the pirate starts drinking from it. And his name is the Stuffed Pirate, because he's always drinking rum, so he's always stuffed.
Arr, the Black Curl.
Please don't use my dreadlocks as facial hair. Thank you. Just kidding, you can do whatever you want. Also worth noting, in the town of Tortuga, when Jack goes into town to recruit a ship crew. So in that town, he runs into a redhead who slaps his face, and she's a reference to the redhead in the red dress in the ride. She doesn't look exactly the same, but that's sort of the reference there. Additionally, when Jack goes to the back of the tavern to wake up Mr. Gibbs and he throws a bucket of water on him, in that scene, Gibbs is actually laying down with a bunch of pigs in the mud, and that's a direct reference to one of the pirates in the ride that's doing the same thing. What if that pirate has a name? We should name him Mr. Piggly Wiggly. I don't know, in the comments below, leave a name for the pig pirate. Maybe you should just be Pig Pirate. In another scene during the attack, there's a bunch of piratey madness going on, and somewhere lost in all that madness, there's a pirate chasing a woman through the town, and that's a direct reference to the ride, which has been switched, by the way. It used to be male pirates chasing like females around in circles, but now it's been changed to where the pirates are stealing food and the females are chasing them to get their food back, because that's much more politically correct. Because we all know that pirates were very politically correct. Later on, there's a scene where Macaw, the parrot, flies down land and says, and that's obviously a direct reference to the ride in which that line is uttered ominously by the voice in the cave that says, dead men tell no tales. So yeah. Also, that macaw itself is a reference to the parrot at the very beginning of the ride. When you're in the line and there's a sign that says Pirates of the Caribbean, there's a parrot mounted right there. Ta-da! Here's one you may not have noticed. When they first arrive to the Isle de Muerta, there's a skeleton sort of washed up with a crab next to it, and that's a reference to the part of the ride where there's a skeleton dead on the beach with a sword through his back, and there's a crab right next to him sort of pinching. A subtle one, but a good one. This reference is one of my favorites, both because I like the scene and I've always liked the special effect employed in the ride. So right after Elizabeth tries to leave Barbossa's chamber, she runs out and then notices that the entire crew is being exposed by moonlight, and they're all like skeletal zombie ghost things. And then Barbossa utters probably one of my favorite lines in the whole movie when he says, "You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner, cause you're in one." And then he pops open that bottle of wine and he starts chugging it, and he starts hitting his rib cage and splashing all over the place because he's now a skeleton. I absolutely love that part. It's one of my favorites. In the ride, that's also the case. In the scene where it's like an abandoned sort of pub, I guess, and there's pirates playing chess, and then there's a pirate just leaning back drinking a bottle of wine that's just infinitely going down his throat and into his rib cage to no end. How they've kept that bottle flowing for 1,000,000 years, I'll never know. Just kidding, I do know. I know, it's like a spirally thing. I know. Now here are some references from the second movie that are also in the ride. So when Mr. Gibbs goes to recruit a crew in Tortuga, there's a scene where these guys are pulling a guy out of a well and he's spitting out water, and that's a reference to the ride in which the pirates are actually dunking, I guess he's kind of the mayor of the town, and they're trying to extort him to find out, well now they're trying to find out where Jack Sparrow is. And the lady in the window goes, "Don't be cheeking." That part, it's a reference to that part. And you know that part where the fight breaks out in the bar and everybody's going crazy and a band starts playing? It's actually a three-piece band that is the same band from the ride. You'll notice there's even a guy playing the accordion. Same band. So here's one thing that actually, for years, I had thought was one thing, but was actually another. When they're sailing down the river to get to Tia Dalma's little hut, you'll notice there's one shack. I always thought that shack was the shack that you saw across from the Blue Bayou when you entered the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. It turns out that shack is actually a replica of a shack that exists in the Magic Kingdom's version of the Jungle Cruise. Crazy, right? Here's actually a little fun one that includes a hidden Mickey. So initially, when the Black Pearl is attacking Port Royal, it shoots a cannonball. You'll notice that when the smoke parts, it makes a Mickey, like a hidden Mickey. So when you're in the ride, there's a scene where there's a ship attacking the Spanish fort. And if you turn around and look at the fort's wall, you'll notice that there's a part where the cannonball broke through. And that also makes a hidden Mickey. So it's kind of a throwback to that. I don't know if it's intentional, but it's definitely cool. In the scene where the Interceptor and the Black Pearl go side to side and they start attacking each other, Barbossa yells, "Bloomin' cockroaches!" Well, that's actually a reference to the ride. When the ship is attacking the Spanish fort, the pirate that, well, I don't know if Barbossa still says it. The pirate that used to be there called his crew bloomin' cockroaches. So it was a direct quote. Very cool one there. Very subtle. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you learned something. So next time you're on the ride, hopefully you think about this video and you think of all the ways you can match things up if you didn't already know. In the comments below, let me know if there's other references that I might have missed that you caught. And if you can't think of any, just let me know what your favorite part of the ride is. My personal favorite is the part where you're floating up and you see the silhouette of the skeleton and he's flying the ship in the storm, and then when you get close, it's just like a crashed ruin. Oh, that visual is so cool. You know what I mean? Thank you to everyone for watching this video. I greatly appreciate your company, and hopefully I see you again on the high seas. Some sort of piratey saying. Savvy?